Our Oh man, I'm still waking up, dude. I'm still waking up. Oh, and you're having your coffee. I don't have my coffee. I need coffee.
Yeah,
How
usually
you
you're
guys
double
doing?
fisting your coffee by now.
Usually, I need something. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are we all doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How am I sounding? Am I sounding okay?
You're sounding pretty good, actually.
Yeah. I think that StreamYard has done an update or something because we're not clipping each other when we talk at the same time, which is something new.
Yeah, that's something I think that's pretty cool. Finally, it's about time they fix something, but yeah.
Did you share it in my group?
I don't know. I might have.
If you guys haven't seen this live stream shared in whatever groups you're in, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up and share it in that live stream. We're still waking up. I know you guys are too. We're going to get into it and we're going to talk about the Fire TV devices.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's gonna be some good stuff. So real quick, I know on the Streambox Now channel, it's usually a hell of a lot lesser people than what we're used to, because it is the smaller channel. We did hit 1,000 subscribers a week ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
So thank you. And actually, I didn't call it Beyond the Streams this time.
I know, surprising.
Surprising. It's because I'm tired. My brain hasn't kicked in yet. But thank you everybody who did subscribe to the channel. We did that. We did hit that 1K mark. So that is awesome, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna keep going and going and going. There's gonna be a lot of stuff. We're gonna be changing the channel a little bit. It's actually gonna be a little bit more detailed now. I think we just finished the series with the NVIDIA Shield this last week. So if you didn't watch the videos, check them out. This incoming week, there is a new device called the DQ6. That one is going to start, the episodes start Monday. So it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But starting after this episode, it's going to be the Fire Stick Lite. And it's actually going to be a 6-episode series now is what we're changing it to. So right now, you guys, when you guys see the videos, the first video is your unboxing and what does it look like inside once you plug it in, like straight out the box, nothing done with it, plus the specs. Second video is all about the settings. How does the quality look like? Third video is the value, like just looking at the value of the product, how the packaging is, the value of what you get when you plug it in. Can you do stuff third party wise? Does Netflix and stuff like that work on it? Once the fourth video starts, the fourth video is, and I'm going to do this with all devices. Fourth video is how to get Downloader and FileLinked onto your device. Now, if you don't need Downloader because it has a web browser, then it's pretty much how to get FileLinked on there. Fifth video is all about getting the third-party apps onto the device. And then sixth video is a surprise. Can't tell you guys that yet.
A surprise?
Surprise.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be a 6-part series now.
So here, I'm just going to say this. Before this channel was created, Rohas was like, he was trying to figure out a structure. And I think originally he was like 1 or 2 videos. And then a week went by and he was like, I could do 3 videos. And now how many are you up to per device?
6.
So maybe in a month or two, we're looking at what, 10, 12, 15? Yeah.
No.
A whole month is going to be focused on a device. He's going to dissect it. He's going to rip it apart physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah. We're going to cry together. Yeah, it's I thought about it. 6 videos to give away the device. I thought about it, and it's kind of like the one question that everybody asks: how do I put FileLinked on this device? That's like, and I'm just like, well, once you watch one video, it's pretty much the same. Like they're all the same across the board. So the other thing is, like for the Fire Stick Downloader, You get downloaders, sometimes the web browser don't work. So I kind of show that this is how you put the web browser on there. Even though it's already fixed on the new ones, I went ahead and showed it anyway,
Mm.
just in case it goes down. The most popular question for any device is, does Cyberflix work for this? Does Nova work for this? Does BTV? Sad Days, Buzz, does TV Zion work on this? I hate
Oh
saying
god.
it.
Oh god. Oh
It
god.
hurts right here every time I say the word TV Zion.
And it's funny because I mean, 2 months ago, you didn't really care about it.
No, I was just like, yeah, it's because it was there. It was there. It's like going downstairs and you see like fresh homemade cookies, and you're not running towards them, but you're like, they're there. I'll get them when I want one. And then when they're gone, yeah, like that, like your donuts. Once they're gone, I'm gonna get a phone call. Next, I was gonna be crying. Where's my donuts? I'll be like, sorry, dude, I had to take one. But you know what I'm saying? It's like if it's there, it's cool. If it's not there, then you feel it a little bit more.
Tech reviews is like, is this live? Yes, we're right here.
We are live. We are live tech reviews. Or did we record this and we knew you were going to say that at this very moment? Explosions.
You never know what you're going to get from us.
You
Never know.
know.
The other reason why it's really good to show how to sideload or how to set up downloader or how to do these browsers on every single device is because the only way to help as many people as possible in the community is to talk specifically to the person who owns that device, right? Not everybody owns, let's say an NVIDIA Shield, or not everyone owns a Fire Stick, even though there's a lot of people that own Fire Sticks, right? And when they're searching for help, they're going to be typing the name of their device in. And a lot of times, if it's their first device, they're not going to understand that the process is similar or the same from device to device. So we grow the community by reaching out to the people that have those specific devices. So I know there's probably going to people be commenting saying, oh, why are you making a video on this when it's exactly the same as that? Well, this video may not be for you. It's probably for somebody else.
Yeah, for real. For real. Cool. Breakfast tacos. So yeah, I'm just looking at my list here for the live for the light, the light Amazon Fire TV Lite. Yeah, so I labeled it specs, settings, value, new interface, download web plugin, file linked, apps to use. So it's kind of like every single device out there is very unique. I'll tell you this, on Monday with this new DQ6, and I think I did a video on this one, and I don't even know where the but's over there. I did a video on this on my main channel. Earlier this week, the DQ6, it was like 32 gigs of memory, and I forget how much RAM it had. But I'm gonna do the whole breakdown starting this week, but it's only 3 videos. So after this one, the Amazon TV Lite is gonna get a lot of love. Everybody, do me a favor. We do got 24 people watching. Everybody, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It will help. It will help drive this video out there for people to check out. So real quick, I'm just gonna go down the list and say hi to everybody because I don't want to miss anybody. And then next level, if you can get if we could actually use your screen to do those images, um, that way we could use the
Sure.
I'm pretty sure you saw it. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm still putting my thoughts together here.
It's all good.
Um, so good morning, everybody. Grunt Streams, Canuck Mark, Sandman, Preppy Mama, how you doing? Rick S. I said Sandman already, but hello, Sandman again. Surge Flakes, he came in and he is out. What's up, dude? How are you? Tech reviews, we are definitely live. V Stag BQ, that's pretty cool. How you doing, man? B Davy, Carl, what's up, Carl? Carl, you're a mod, so get to work. Grunt Streams again. What's up, dude? Salvatore, how are we doing? Donald D Nice. I hope I'm not missing anybody because the thing just skipped down here. But how are we doing? Hope you guys are all having a good morning. So we are just going to be talking about just the new 2020 Amazon Fire Sticks. the Lite, the 3rd gen. We will be comparing them to the 4K, the Cube, the 2nd gen. We are going to be looking at that stuff. So hopefully you guys do appreciate this one. So whenever you're ready, do you got that? You got it?
Yeah, I got it now.
Do you got
I'm
it?
just setting up my multiple screens.
But appreciate every single one of you guys for coming today this morning. For the West Coast, wait, is Jose Rodriguez in here? Tell me Jose Rodriguez is not in here.
Is the real Jose Rodriguez in here?
Mark Ellis. Hey, Mark Ellis was the one that won yesterday, the $100. Mark Ellis, can you confirm that you did get it, please? I'm pretty sure we like to
Mike.
Huh?
Mike
Ellis, right? Is that what I said?
You said Mark, but it's okay.
Mike, sorry, I'm still waking up, man. I'm still waking up. Tell me, Jose.
No, that's the fake Jose, because it's got the fake picture.
Where is he at?
It's got the fake picture. It's the fake one.
I don't even see him on the thing.
I see him on StreamYard.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Kings? Cool. What's up, Streaming Wizard? Pop up your tea. We're about to get started here. Check it out. Okay, you ready next?
Yeah.
What's up, Mike G? Good morning, dude. Nice icon, by the way. Mike Ellis. Mike, not Mark. Yes, I won. See, so just so you guys know, we did that $100 giveaway yesterday on Next Level's channel. This is why we say make sure you guys follow us everywhere. So he said, Mike, not Mark. He was walking his parrot too, apparently, during the show. He said, yes, I won. Like, see, parrot guy. So yeah, big congratulations. Big congratulations. Okay, so here is the chart, guys. This is the chart. AFTV News did a really, really good job. This is a benchmark. And you're probably wondering, holy crap, on that ginormous number. So do you want to explain exactly what the red and the orange is, Next Level?
Yeah, sure. I'll go for that. So this benchmarking tool is called Geekbench that they used. And this is benchmarking both single core performance and multi-core. So a lot of times you'll hear us talk about CPUs, hexa-core, quad-core, stuff like that. Usually there's a predominant, single core that they all use. And then there's the threaded performance for applications that use multiple cores in a CPU. Right. So this is the overall ranking of all the devices, the Fire devices from 2014 all the way to 2020. And there's a couple interesting things that we'll probably get into as we go through them. But the main things that you're going to see that are going to jump out to you there is the Fire TV Cube 2 is off the charts in regards to this one because it is using a hexa-core CPU. It's using the M-Logic 922. And that's the fastest or their highest ranked CPU for M-Logic, right? All the other CPUs are generally going to be quad core, and that's why you're seeing that big jump in performance there.
Cool. So when we look at these numbers, I was very, very mad. Oh man, here we go. Here we go with the beef. If you look at these numbers, and actually, you know what? If you double click on the image, it should take away off all the white. No?
But wait.
The window. So that way it opens up just the image and not just the window.
Let's try this.
There we go. Can you blow it up a little bit? Like double click it or something?
Woohoo! What the hell?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I tried.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right. So yeah, double click it again. Oh, there we go. You can do that for now. So if we look at these numbers, This is what I'm saying. I was very mad. That Fire TV 2 was
That's too small. Okay, sorry guys.
okay. Yeah. The Fire TV 2, look at the numbers. It is the best number single at the single core where it was beating everybody and it still has everybody beat. That Fire TV box, that the actual box, it was a little thin box that was insane. It was so good. I never had issues with that thing. And then they came out with the Fire TV Cube first gen, and that was the biggest mess ever. Um, I just couldn't believe what they did. It like you could see it right there. Fire TV Cube, it is half the single on the core and also half the multi core. So it made no sense why they did that. So I was very, and Next Level knows this. I did not want to test. I didn't even want to test out the second gen cube. That's how bad they messed up on.
But you know why they did that, right? They cheaped out on performance to add Alexa into the devices. Sorry if I just woke up everybody's devices.
She's called Juanita.
Okay, but realistically, that's the only logical sense that I can make out of this, right? They cheap out on some of the performance, some of the hardware to get everybody into the ecosystem because the Fire TV 2 didn't have Alexa, Juanita. It's still early for me. Okay, I haven't had my coffee yet.
But even then, even if they were to do that, the 4K came out roughly around the same year. And it had also the Juanita. The single core was a little bit better, and the multi core was a hell of a lot better. And you had that you could talk to her through the remote.
But it's also a different CPU than the Fire TV 2, right? You couldn't put the same CPU from the Fire TV 2 into the 4K Fire Stick, right? That wouldn't. I don't think that would have worked. It probably would have had overheating issues.
Yeah. Well, either way, all I knew was they were going away with the Fire TV, with the box. They're going away with it for this damn cube thing, and I'm like, I have no idea what they were thinking of. Now, when you look at the best performance overall, it would be the second gen. When you go to single core, the Fire TV 2 still beats it by a little bit. But when it comes to that multi-core, the quad core in there, because this is a hexacore, that quad core destroys everything that they have out there. So that right now is, when I look at benchmarks, that is your standard right now. The Fire TV Cube, the second gen, is your standard. This is where the best of the best is at right now when it comes to the Amazon Fire TV. Now, when we look at the sticks, now this is the most important thing because the sticks is the most they are the most popular and the most selling device out of all streaming devices. Hands down, there's no second place. Second place is themselves. Third place is themselves. There's like top 3 devices are all Amazon.
It's like NVIDIA and graphics cards. NVIDIA just competes with themselves when it comes to graphics cards.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's, and the funny thing is people are going to say, yeah, but the NVIDIA has more power. Not talking about power. And sure, NVIDIA has a lot of power for sure, but they're probably sitting. They're not a top 3 selling device. They're not a top 3 popular device. They're not a top 3
Shield?
talked about device.
The Shield?
Huh? The Shield. It's when you're comparing to these devices, it's, how many times have you heard, hey, Next Level, I want a jailbroken Fire Stick. And you're like, okay, I got you. Don't worry, I got you. It's going to cost you X amount. And they're like, well, if I go to Best Buy and I get me one, and they're like, well, go ahead and get yourself one. When they go and buy their own Fire Stick, what do they come and bring you?
It's never the 4K.
Never the 4K. And here's the thing. They're out there buying the second gen while the 4K is right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the price, they're like, I'm getting the second gen. Now, people who are like, well, I have a 4K TV. I'm going to get the 4K Fire Stick. So now people really don't know. It's like you don't need a 4K TV for your 4K Fire Stick. You could do it, works with any TV.
And you don't need a 1080p for your 1080p Fire Stick either.
Exactly. And if you have a 4K TV, that 1080 Fire Stick is going to work just fine.
Yep. Yeah.
So, but people get that confused. That's what I'm saying. When they look at those, they're grabbing them. They don't even care. Fire Stick, the 4K, second gen. I don't care. I don't care. And then they're like, you know what? I'm going to save a little bit of money so I can get the damn cube. Where's the Shield in all this? Not in the top 3. you know?
Maybe over the past 2 years locally, I've only been asked about a Shield twice. And when I asked them what they wanted the Shield for, they said Netflix. So immediately I was like, here, listen, I'm going to give you a Fire Stick. If you don't like it, bring it back to me. And they got it and they're like, I want 2 more. And even if they got 2 more Fire Sticks, you're still spending less than a Shield.
Yeah. and the funny thing too is with you saying that is sometimes we tell people, just get the Shield. If you're getting the cube, just save a little bit more money for that Shield because you're going to get so much more power. And the cube is good. And I know with us, we're like, okay, the cube has all the power for you not to buffer to begin with anyway, because it has a lot of stuff in there that gives it that power. Now with the Shield, you're just giving it that upgrade, I guess you can call it. That's going to last you for how many generations did we say? 3 gens of them doing nothing.
Half a decade.
So when we tell people, like if somebody has the 2015 Shield, you've been good for 5 years, not worrying about anything. I got one. But people then think about it. They're like, I don't know if I want to spend the extra $50. And it's just like, but it's only $50.
You know, if I'm going to spend extra money on a device, there's 2 devices that I'm going to spend extra money on. Do you know what devices they are?
The cube?
Nope. I mean, the cube's the cube. I have a cube, but I mean like extra money, like
B-Link?
more than what it's worth.
It's got to be a B-Link.
No. That's actually one's going to be the Fire TV 2. I would spend more money than it's worth on that device because I want one. And the second device, I want the original 2015 Shield with 500 gig hard drive. Those are the 2 devices that I would spend more than market value on.
Yeah. That Fire TV 2, man, was just like I was like, man, I can't wait for them to continue the series because this thing is just amazing. And figure out how to put the damn little speaker in there so that way your Juanita device could talk to you. But no. So anyway, okay, now that we've got all the old devices out of hand, where do the new Fire TV Stick Lite and the Fire TV Stick 3rd generation land on all this? So the 2 top ones up there at the very, very top, that's exactly where they're at. If you look at the top 4, let's just like pretend the Fire TV Cube 2 is not there. That giant line, pretend is not there. And if you look at the Fire TV Stick 4K, the Fire TV Stick Lite, and then the Fire TV Stick 3rd generation, the numbers are insanely close. Those numbers, you look at like at the single core for the 4K 702. If you look at the Lite 706, which outperforms the 4K, and then it also outperforms the 3rd gen at 703. Now, when you look at the multi-core 4K 2012, if you look at the Lite 2125, when you look at the 3rd gen, it outperforms that too.
Yeah.
2111. Now, those numbers, I'm going to tell you this. Even though that Lite outperforms the 4K and the 3rd gen by the benchmarks, you're not going to tell a difference at all. We're talking about like a hair of a fraction. Like it's not much of a difference at all.
So here, I'm just going to throw this in here. All three of these devices that we're talking about here,
Thank you.
we're talking about optimal performance out of the box. Nothing's installed, nothing like that. Awesome. And they're all running the same CPU, the same RAM, and all that stuff. I'm sure that if you ran these tests after you siloed and set up these devices, you would see a much different result, right? That's where you're going to see your Fire TV Stick 4K pull ahead by a very small margin. But off the bat, out of the box, when you're doing these benchmarks, these differences in the numbers is what you would consider a margin of error. They're all running the same stuff. No matter what, it's very rare that you can run a benchmark test 3 times in a row on the same device and get the exact same numbers. So these are all what I would consider margin of error. I was actually reading an article last night, and it was talking about how the Fire TV Stick 3 and the Fire TV Stick Lite have the exact same model numbers. They're pretty much the exact same device, just one gives you, I think, Dolby Digital, and the other one doesn't. But essentially, that has nothing to do with performance. If you're just talking about raw performance, they're all going to give you the same kind of performance.
Absolutely. For sure. Now, you did say that they run the same chip.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at this, what they did was they took that second gen Fire Stick, and you could even see it right there. Fire TV Stick 2. You could see it was 453 single and 1213 multi. And they got a really nice upgrade. They totally they those numbers almost doubled on respectfully within each core. So out of the box, when you run these 3 benchmarks, I'm not surprised that the numbers are that close. And again, just to reiterate, when you run these benchmarks, if you're to run it 3 times, and the numbers are always going to be slightly different,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is that they're going to be very, very close. So
Yeah.
you normally what you do is, and I don't want to talk about math because it's too damn early. When you do a cluster, with what Next Level was saying, when you get 3 numbers, you run 3 tests, you get a cluster, you could get an average. Yeah, that average will be then you consider as your benchmark. That is your where you want to reach, and it could go a little bit above, a little bit below. The ones that is alarming would be like, wait a minute, are your outliers when something is way higher or way lower. But when you look at this makes me feel really, really good, knowing that they took 2 brand new devices. They off of the second gen Fire Stick, they created 2 new ones. With the third gen, they just created the next series, and then they made a new one called a Lite, and said we need to make sure the power that the 4K stick has, because it's 2 years older, are on this device. The only thing is that comes out of it is just the Lite has a pass through of video audio, where the third gen has the codecs already inside the device.
And I see Donald D. Nice is asking about networks. They're all running the same networking, all MIMO, Wi-Fi, dual band. They up that on all their devices, their new devices now. So if you're looking at networking, then they're all the same.
Is that in one of the images that we have?
Maybe. Take a look. Let me see. Could it be?
Let's go ahead and pull up Antutu. Yeah, let's pull that one up next. We're gonna get to all the different specs. We're just going through one, and we're going through order. So this is Antutu CPU, memory, and the UX. So again, as you see, the Fire TV second gen was just in a whole different league. Like they were just they were doing such an amazing job with that thing. But whatever, I can't cry about it anymore. It's 4 years ago, and it took them until last year to not only catch up but surpass it a little bit, which is the second gen Fire Cube, which is great. Now, when you do look at the second gen Fire Stick, 34.1K. If you look at the 4K Fire Stick, 59.7K. And then look at the two brand new devices. On Antutu, they both slightly outperform the 4K Fire Stick. And again, this is out the box. This isn't you uploaded or downloaded anything. This is just doing simple benchmarks. So they passed it up by a little bit. What do you think, Next? What are your thoughts on this?
So here's the thing. One of the big differences when it comes to these Fire Sticks is not hardware. It's actually software. So we're moving from Android 7 to Android 9, where there's different optimizations, right? Not Android 9 is better optimized to perform a little bit better for certain tasks. So keep in mind, this is straight out of the box. They're not loaded devices. There's nothing on them. There's nothing running in the background for applications that you've installed. So they are going to perform better because they're running a better optimized operating system for sure, right? The 4K Fire Stick has half a gig more RAM, but it doesn't matter if there's no applications running to use more RAM, right? Like if you loaded all these together, like I was saying on the last slide, and then you ran these benchmarks, you would see a completely different result because you would be capping out your RAM on the Fire Stick 3 and the Lite versus the 4K having a little bit more cushion for the pushing.
For sure. Cool. So let's go ahead and move on to the 3D benchmarks. Now, a lot of people don't know too much about 3D, or they really don't mess with 3D. I have an interchangeable 3D. One of my TVs is interchangeable. The other one is just 4K to the insane power.
Why is it being dumb? Hold on.
So he's pulling it up right now. I'll give him a second, guys.
This one, GFX, right?
No, it says 3D Mark.
3D Mark.
It's right before the GFX bench.
Geekbench. 3D Mark. There we go. Sorry.
There you go. So, good morning for anybody who's popping in. Make sure you guys do hit that thumbs up. It will help this video get seen by more people. So hopefully we could teach some people some stuff. At least we try. So when it comes to 3D, again, Fire TV 2 was just amazing. And it took them several years for the Fire TV Cube to finally catch up on. The 4K was doing really good. You could see how it was climbing up with more and more power. And then when you look at the stick, the third gen, the Fire TV Stick third gen, and the Lite, it does pass up the 4K. Now remember, keep in mind when the 4K was out, the 4K when the 3D was out several years. I would say 2012 was when there was a big rage with 3D. Lots of 3D TVs, a lot of interchangeable 3Ds. How do I know exactly 2012? Because that's when I actually bought my Samsung interchangeable 3D TV. When they announced it, I was like, I want one. So I was at Best Buy on their blue light special day, and they had some really killer sales that day. So I'm still into the whole 3D. I do go check out movies like anything actually related to the Avengers. I will go check out a 3D movie at the movie theater, and then I actually buy the 3D movie to watch it on that TV specifically. So when I see this to see if it performs the 3D or not, this is going to have to do. The only reason why the third gen Fire Stick and the Lite surpass it is the codecs. The codecs that are within those two brand new ones just have the newest ones versus the 4K. 2 years is a huge difference when it comes to technology. As you guys know, as soon as something drops, it becomes outdated almost instantly. There's something else coming out. And, imagine by the time the end of the year is over, how many new technology things have come out that surpass things. So again, it's a the score, I would say, it's not a big difference, but there's going to be a difference. You're going to notice it that on the 4K and the Lite and the stick, that is just going to run slightly smoother. Now, before we get into the next one, the one thing I did want to mention on this, and I think next level, you and me were talking about this, the third gen stick and the Fire Stick Lite runs overall much smoother than the 4K.
Depending on how many things you have loaded on it, it can, yes.
Mm-hmm. Out the box, I think that's the first thing I noticed.
Right.
Like the 4K, and you know, don't get me wrong, the 4K still runs pretty smooth. When I turned on the cube and I tested it, I was like, okay, this is hella smooth. This is really, really nice. But I didn't get similar experience on the cube, but when I did plug in the light and the third gen comparison to the 4K, I was like, it feels a little bit smoother. I don't know. What do you think?
You know, here's the thing. When I started looking at these numbers and these benchmarks that we're talking about in the stream today, one thing that I kind of noticed is that you're looking at the same hardware essentially across the board on all devices, but every single slide shows that the Fire TV Stick 3 and the Fire TV Stick Lite has about a 6 to 7% increase, right? So, what is the main denominating factor? Why is it getting that 6 to 7% increase? And I think it really comes down to the operating system, right? They moved from Android 7 to Android 9. And just by doing that, it's able to optimize the performance just by that little touch. So, it makes me curious that if they ever moved the 4K Fire Stick to Android 9 with the same operating system as these newer devices, would we see more than a 6 to 7% increase because it has that RAM to go with it? You know what I mean? So
I
that
think
makes
so.
me curious. Like, could they just release another 4K Fire Stick and just update, the operating system, and we would see that 6 to 7, maybe even 6 to 10% performance boost? And I think
I
that
think
would be
so.
really interesting to see.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think with like I was saying about the codecs
Hmm.
and how you were just saying about the software, there's certain things that are gonna be compatible with the different versions of operating systems.
Hmm.
And the newer operating system that you're on, the more latest and greatest things that you'll have on it. So it makes perfect sense with what you said when we're looking at the 4K versus the light and the third gen that there is an increase. And yeah, I hope, I really do hope that we don't jinx this. I really do not want the 4K to just do an operating system update.
Yeah.
I hope it's not just that. Then it's going to be like, okay, NVIDIA,
Now,
okay, Shield, don't do this to me.
can I just get everyone in the chat to put a 1 if you have tried one of the new sticks? Doesn't matter which one. Just put a 1 in the chat if you tried one of the new sticks. I'm just
Third
curious to
gen,
see
third gen or the light. Yeah, third gen
either
or the
one.
light.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see how many people have tried it, and if you guys may have seen the same things that I have. I think Rojas has slightly different results than I do, but for me, when I plugged in my first one, out of the box after setup, it had more free space available than my Fire Stick typically does. Not by a whole lot, but by a small margin. So I'm curious, because the operating system is different, is it taking up less room out of the box? Um, or is it just something that was a one off on my side? Because I think that you said when you put it up, it pretty much had the same space as a 4K Fire Stick. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
on my side, I don't think mine did. I think it
you had
had
less.
about half a gig more.
You had more. Remember though, when you plugged yours in, you had an update, and you're like, "Oh, it took like 30 minutes." I'm like, "Dude, mine took about an hour, hour and a half."
Yeah, yeah.
I might have had the same update that you did, plus an additional one that they might have added.
It's true. It's true. Because you set yours up a week after, so you could have had another update after that. That's true.
Yeah. So it could have been that they could have added some more crap.
So how
So
much free space
we
out of
got
the
a couple
box did you guys have? I see there's a couple ones here.
Yeah, like if you guys know how much free space, the easiest way to tell is if you go to settings, applications, scroll down, and then just hover over manage applications. It should tell you the number right there. We'll be curious to know. And then if anybody hasn't gotten it yet, Rick S saying I have the 3rd gen, just haven't tried it yet. Check it out when you do get a chance, just to see.
I have
Yeah,
a
so
couple more benchmarks. Should I throw them up too?
I did see the FX, which is okay. Everything's about the same what we're talking about. CPU, gaming. I kind of want to talk about the specs now. Like, do you have one? Do you have one with just specs?
I kind of wanted to show this one. Just
Go
I'm
for
not
it.
going to go too far into it, but
Go for it.
this one here. This is not just about Fire Sticks, but just to
Oh
give you
yeah,
guys
I
an
was looking at
idea
that
of
one.
what the market's like, right? So obviously everyone knows the Shield is the best, but when it comes to the actual performance, now remember, this is talking about the CPU. We're not talking about graphics, right? Look how close the Fire TV Cube 2 is to the actual Shield, you know? And we usually say there's a certain percentage of margin for error. So if we take away like a good 1%, you wouldn't even notice the difference in regards to performance when it comes to the Fire TV Cube 2 and the Shield TV, right? Where you're going to notice the difference that everyone knows is game performance. So how does Amazon compete with the world leading graphics designer or company, right? If they're not going to give, you think Amazon could just walk up to NVIDIA and be like, hey, we want to put a Tegra 1 Plus in our next cube. You think NVIDIA is going to be like, okay? No, they're not going to say okay to that. So how do they compete? And I think this is where we're going to see a very interesting change in the market now that they're going with cloud-based gaming, because cloud-based gaming will use less local GPU performance, and most of it will be done in the cloud. So I think this is a very interesting move for them for sure. The other thing that I thought was really interesting, I mean, if we wanted to start from, let's see, here, the 4K Fire Stick. 4K Fire Stick is nowhere near the top here.
Mm-mm.
And then the TiVo obviously is better. It has more RAM, right? You go a little higher, and both of the not the 4K Fire Sticks, both of the Stick Lite and the 3 are benchmarking better than the TiVo. And then right here is the new device that everybody is waiting to get their hands on.
Chromecast. I got mine.
I'm still waiting for mine.
Sorry.
But why does the Chromecast bench higher? It's not just because it's made by Google. It's running a 1.9 gigahertz. I think it's an octa-core processor, right? Is that the S905X3?
Oh man,
I think so. I could be wrong,
I
but
think so.
I could be wrong. But that it's clocked higher. The 4K Fire Stick is clocked. Is it the 4K Fire Stick? I think all three of them are clocked at 1.7. And instead of giving you a gig or a gig and a half of RAM, the Chromecast is giving you 2. And it's optimized better. One thing that you would hope to see from a Google device running Android is optimization. I mean, you guys own the operating system and you own the hardware. You guys should be able to optimize this to work best with it. You know what I mean?
Now with this one, you were bringing up a good point about the gaming, because the CPU is going to be very important with how the thing is. I hate to use the word rendering, but that's I hope you guys get the gist when it's doing it. The Shield, when you guys do a computer game, PC, when you're looking at a PC game, and the way that system works is, so I got an NVIDIA graphics card. I got go back to the other one.
No. Fine. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, go back to the other one because I know the CPU is going to be important before we talk to that gaming one. Yeah. So when my graphics card is the GeForce RTX 2080 Super, that thing is just an insane beast mode. So when I game, they give you certain options. If you want your graphics to be like ultra or like the highest power, the highest whatever, and the way it renders the frames per second are just insane on my screen. Everything just works really good, very smooth, and it's awesome. Once you start getting into cloud cloud gaming, things are a little bit different. Sometimes, or I guess, streaming, like League of Legends, for example, what they do is they make sure your computer has the power to do a lot of the stuff to pull that stuff in. But once you get onto their servers, and once you're playing live with everybody around the world, that feed that comes in, they're all dedicated. It's all dedicated stuff. So they got a lot of power coming in to your screen, to your computer, to your device. So that way your computer or your device is not doing so much work. Now with me, because I like my screen, when I'm looking at my screen, because I got those wide ones, the 4K, I want that thing to look beautiful every time. When I look at these numbers, remember, Amazon's been working on Luna for a while. This isn't like, oh, let's just jump on the bandwagon. So when I look at the Fire Cube, I'm not surprised that cube, the second gen, got so much of an increase with power, because that Luna has probably been being worked on for a couple years. So they probably said, we need a device that's going to last us a little bit, because as soon as Luna drops, we don't want to mess with making another cube, which would make sense why we didn't see a cube this year, because like you said, cube just came out last year, the second gen.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at these numbers, it's very interesting when you do see it, when you're just like, well, the power is very, very, very close between the Shield and the cube. And then if you look at the new Chromecast, when with Stadia, they have them built so that way they could do this cloud gaming stuff.
For sure.
So they're and then same thing with the new sticks, the light and the third gen, they're right there. They are literally right there. So I'm
when saying that was the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this chart. I was like, this chart made me want to try Stadia.
mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, the Chromecast, it's beating every single other stick on the market. Yep. And we're talking about performance. I want to try Stadia on it. I actually want to try gaming on it and see how it performs. I never wanted to try Stadia before.
Mm-hmm.
Legit.
Well, now that I got the Chromecast, I'm gonna get my free trial. Remember, you got the free trial with their Stadia Pro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna set it up on my 4K on the big TV. But you know what's something very interesting too, that I kept looking at this. Amazon's not trying to compete with Shield. The cube, the sticks, they're not trying to compete with the NVIDIA Shield on anything.
Right.
I think what they're doing is they might have heard that the Shield has been losing, with the GeForce, with their gaming, they've been losing some stuff. And I know we were laughing about it, like, damn, dude, you got this gaming streaming device, and they're losing games, and it's no longer a gaming device, I think what's going on is I think Amazon might have said, hey, you know what? We're the most popular devices. We're the most selling devices, all of them. Whatever we push out, people are just going to buy it. So
you know what? They want market share. They want to keep market share. They're not going after the cube. They're going after the Roku.
Why the Roku?
Because there's so many people that still own a Roku, and Amazon's just like us is wondering why. So
well, I wouldn't say so much that they're going after the Roku. The Roku, yeah, I do agree. The Roku is another very, very popular device, and we're trying to get everybody off that damn Roku. That thing is horrible. So, but you know what? I honestly don't believe that Amazon is looking at the Roku or the Shield or anybody. They're just like, we don't care what anybody does. Let's do our own gaming thing. Let's do our own Luna. Let's do our own this, our own that. And let's see who comes up ahead. And so far, they've been
pretty good.
For years, they've been destroying people.
It's like, I mean, if we look at some of the most richest companies in the world, we have Amazon, obviously, and we have Apple. right? So if any company wanted to be like, I want to be the next Apple, what does Apple do that's really good that keeps them propelling forward? They keep expanding on their ecosystem, right? They keep expanding on their ecosystem and getting people into the ecosystem. And the same thing like YouTube. YouTube for us, YouTube doesn't care what we do as long as we keep people on the platform, right? At the end of the day, these companies want to keep you in their ecosystem, in their platform. They don't, if you watch a TV show and then you're going to go and jump on a PlayStation or an Xbox to do gaming, Amazon's like, why? I can give you that. Oh, you want to watch YouTube? I can give you that. Keep using this device, because the longer you use this device is the more advertisements they can feed you as well, right?
Yep.
So when we look at that, Amazon's just looking at themselves. Their goal is, how do we get everybody to only use our device and keep them in our ecosystem? Right? You want to go to their car, they have Alexa. They want to go into their kitchen, they have Alexa. They go in their Juanita. Oh my God.
You're gonna turn everybody's devices on.
Anyways, that's where I was going with that. Let me throw on the next slide now.
Go for it.
All right, let's go.
GPU on the gaming benchmarks.
And this is exactly what I was talking about.
Shield.
Would you want to compete with that?
Huh?
Would you want to compete with that?
No. Those numbers, they're using the octa-core, they're using the A53 and then the A70. Holy crap, I can't remember. A76?
I don't even know off the top of my head right now.
They're the only ones that are using that A70 series. Like that quad that they're doing on the A7. I think it's A52 and then A76. They're the only ones in the 70s when it comes to that. I'm just like, holy crap, they're destroying people with it. It's insane. That's the only thing that's pushing them way out in the middle of freaking. Look at that, they're by themselves.
And here's the thing: when people say, I'm just going to be streaming, but I want the best device. Do you need a graphics card like this when it comes to streaming TV shows and movies? You don't. 100% you don't. Is it nice to have? For sure. But people need to understand needs versus wants, and also budget. I mean, sure, if you got the money and you want to go for it, go for it. I'm not trying to knock the Shield. I saw a post earlier in the chat. Canuck Mark said he wanted to get a Shield, but now after you heard us talk about that mishap that you had, he's a little reluctant now. I say if you have kind of gone through the devices that you've used, you're satisfied. So there's nothing wrong. Huh?
You were like, you froze for a split second. I think you had a brain explosions.
Oh, no, probably my bandwidth.
Yeah.
If you've gone through your devices, you're happy with your devices, you have the budget to do so, there's nothing wrong with getting a Shield. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Doesn't matter what year you get, they're all good devices, right? Maybe I'm cheap. I'm not a huge gamer as well.
Well, here's the thing. It's not about being cheap. You're talking about a $50 difference between the Cube, the second gen Cube, and the Shield. $50 is nothing. Like, for me, $50 is nothing. For somebody, $50 would be a lot of money. But if you save up enough to buy the Fire Cube, the second gen, if you're there on the second gen Fire Cube, and we tell people just save that extra money to get the Shield, because you're gonna get, like, you can see the power on that thing. The $50, that's what you're paying for right there. That's where your $50 is going for.
But I mean, you're getting different things from different devices, though. I mean, yes, you're getting gaming performance from the Shield, but you're also getting the built-in echo, right? And there's value in that too. And personally, I think that there's a lot more people that would get value out of a built-in echo versus a beefcake of a GPU like that.
Yep. So when we look at all the other stats, it's kind of like, it doesn't make sense why to pay the extra $50 on XYZ. You can't do the. Dude, it would have been funny if I picked it up over here.
Yeah, that would have been great.
That sounds like a video coming soon.
I'm gonna send you an empty Tim Hortons box in the mail.
Yeah. So yeah, when you look at this number, Now it's like, wait a minute, $50 and I get a hell of a lot of power. A hell of a lot of power. Now you start thinking like, okay, well maybe it makes sense. Maybe it makes sense to get that shield if it's only $50. But here's the thing, even though yes, $50, it makes sense to dish out the $50 when you're looking at, dude, that's an insane increase. It's not like, oh, this is a small percentage. This is huge. But the one thing, yes, beefcake. The one thing, don't talk about food, damn it. Here's the thing. When you go and get that $50 extra because you're just like, okay, when it comes to streaming, I don't need to spend $200 on the Shield or 170 or whatever it's going to be. I could just spend 120, 140, whatever it is on the Cube, the second gen Cube. This is where the difference comes in. You need to keep your ear open to see if your gaming experience is going to be the most important part of your streaming, if those games are going to be there or not. Because if you're just like, dude, I want to play Call of Duty, I want to play this new Call of Duty, and then you get your Shield, and you're just like, wait a minute, why is Call of Duty not on here? Why? Wait, I'm now. Hold on a second. I'm looking at Far Cry 4. How come it's not on there? Dude, Fallout just came out. Why is this not on there? Why is the GeForce not having the freaking popular games that are like, what's up? So you need to keep in mind, yes, you're paying for that money, but if you cut off, if you're just like, okay, for every single game that they cut off, where's it going to? Right now, Luna, they're announcing some big games over there right now. Some very big games. So Stadia, but I know we're just comparing Amazon devices.
Yeah. So exactly what Rojas and I were saying. It's needs versus wants. Yeah. Oh, it's got such a crazy GPU, but do you need it? And if you do, cool, go for it all day. Maybe you can sideload Stadia on there and get the games, the big title games that GeForce Now doesn't have. You can also install Steam too. So GeForce Now doesn't have certain games. You can get it from Steam. You can get it from Stadia if you can sideload it, right? But like I was saying, needs versus want. Are you one that's going to be gaming a lot more on this device versus streaming? Every device has its own pros and cons. Do you think having the ability to, hands-free turn on devices, turn off lights, check to see, how smart devices are working on your network without touching remotes and controllers and all that kind of stuff, there's a value to that. I know Rojas was mentioning a $50 difference, but let's be real. The Gen 2 FireCube goes on sale a hell of a lot often, more than the Shield devices. Prime Day, we're looking at the Gen 2 Cube going down to $80. That's the cheapest we've ever seen that device. And you can't tell me that's not a steal. $80 for that device when they're just starting to bring out Luna, you're going to want to grab that. Like, that's going to be one of the hottest buys when Prime Day rolls around. Next level set it first.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to talk about prices, but thank you for spilling the beans on that one.
Sorry.
I know it's already going around the web anyway. But yeah, if you are a even if you're a gamer, you still need to look at that Shield and look and see if your games are even going to be there anymore, because they're losing games. And I know we say one of the things that I was telling and I think I forgot who said it. Somebody said it recently. They said with the speculations of a FireCube 3rd gen, what would you like to see? And they were calling it a poor man's NVIDIA Shield, which I thought was hilarious. But I'm like, you know what? If the one thing I would ask them to do is, instead of a hexacore, go to that octa-core. Go to the octa-core. Put in the A52 and then put in the A76. If they could put those two things in there, that power on that thing, you're going to see another giant boost. And now it won't be as much as the Shield, because obviously they got that Tegra. but that power that they would increase on that thing would just be it would be nuts. And you know what? Throw in the remote, sell it for 170. I would go head to head with the Shield. This is what I do. Think about this next level. If you have your and everybody in the chat, let me know what would you do? What would you do? NVIDIA, we know they're losing games. Amazon, we know that they're gaining a whole platform, a plethora of games.
Well, that's just they just came out. They have to gain.
So check this out. You got your Shield, you got your Cube. Let's just say they put a 3rd gen. So this is hypothetical. 3rd gen Cube, and you got your 3 generations of the exact same NVIDIA Shield. We're just going to change the remote. So A53 and a A76. Let's say these guys come out with an A53 with an A76 octa-cores. Both have same octa-cores, right? NVIDIA obviously will have their Tegra, hopefully 2. And let's just say the Cube comes up with the latest, greatest M-Logic, which I love M-Logic. M-Logic chipsets are amazing. But let's just say, right? Here's the difference. We're going to talk about price. With your Shield, it's $180, exactly like that. But the Cube says we are going to throw in the remote for $180. That's the only difference.
So a couple of comments in the chat that I just gonna bring up real quickly here. Marcus Bell says, when it comes down to the NVIDIA Shield, the question is, do you want to spend $200? For sure. The other comment in the chat is Trooper saying, you can do the same thing by buying an adapter and you can get home animation or automation, I think he means, with the Shield. Yes, that's true. But we're talking about the devices out of the box. We're only comparing what you get out of the box when you buy them, right? I mean,
no modifications.
No modifications, right? What do you actually get value-wise from each device? What is the difference? What's the pros and cons? What's the bundle? Like, what do you get from them, right? That's really what we're comparing. I mean, yeah. I could buy a Cube and then go buy a Nintendo Switch and then say I have my gaming. That's my secondary thing that I'm buying. You know what I mean? Like, we're just comparing exactly what you get from when you spend your money on these actual devices. For sure. Somebody else was asking, and I think that you could probably speak a little bit better on this than I can, but so they're asking how many people actually use the Echo functions when it comes to these devices. I know personally for myself, because I don't have a whole lot of smart devices. Well, actually, I'm going to be getting more because I got my new studio that I'm setting up. But right now, the only real thing that I do is, I'll check the weather when I wake up in the morning, and then I'll tell the device to turn on my TV before I even sit in front of it. I'll tell it from across the room. I actually call my computer. I'll be like, computer, turn on my TV. And it'll turn it on, and that way I don't have to wait for the TV to turn on. And when I sit down, I just pick up the remote and do whatever I need to do. But I think that as we go further and further into 2020 and 2021, there's going to be a lot more people that are getting into home automation and smart speakers and all that kind of good stuff.
Well, that's been going on for a while now. The home automation stuff has been like, okay, I'll tell you my routine, because I know you were asking the question, like, how do you use it?
Mm-hmm.
Juanita, good morning. As soon as I say good morning to her, she says good morning. The time is, the weather of the day is, the word of the day is, the Japanese word of the day is, here's your news, here's your sports scores, here's upcoming events. Like, she has a plethora of stuff that I set up. When I tell her, hey, good morning, she tells me some stuff while I get ready. Now, once my morning routine's done, let's just say I'm now walking about the house. Hey, turn on the TV. Hey, play music in the living room. Play music in the family room. Play music in the bedroom. Turn on the kitchen lights to 60%. Open up the garage. Start my car. Turn the AC in my car down to 76%. Make sure the front door is locked. Make sure the alarm is set. Like, I can go here all day. I can go here all. That's not laziness. I programmed everything because I'm too busy. I am too busy to go run out and make sure the front door is locked from upstairs. I've fallen down the stairs way too many times. And I'm not even joking. No, I have it. I have, and you know what? And I have a routine at nighttime. Juanita, good night. She tells me good night. She checks the front door that it's locked. She checks the car that it's locked. She checks the alarm that it's turned on. And then she plays white noise, cricket sounds, water, whatever. And then it'll be like cricket sounds or something in the background that's very quiet. The only thing I'm missing is for her to tuck me in. But for real, it's and here's another one. You guys will see it on the Rohas Reviews channel, but I got a robot vacuum. So guess what I'm doing now? Hey, vacuum the house, bitch.
Yeah, you know what? Oh man, I'm not trying to throw no shade, but every older generation will always look at the younger generation's innovation and call it laziness. It doesn't matter which generation we're talking about. I mean, you know, my parents' generation would look at things that I do and call me lazy. I mean, if I told, I don't even think my parents understand that, you know, one of my jobs is YouTube or online. Like, what is that? Go out and get a real job. You know what I mean?
Tara just said I'd lose my man card because I listen to crickets when I go to bed. I'm not the type that has to have the TV turned on. My family, I used to be when I was younger, when I was way younger, I used to have the TV turned on. That's how I went to sleep. And yeah, my therapist is like, dude, you cannot do that. You're not getting real sleep. I used to have like some nasty bags, even though I slept 8 to 10 hours a day when I was younger. Dude, they're just like, you're not getting real sleep. You're just there laying there. But my family is known to really like they have to have their TV turned on. So like the fan, like the noise of the fan, the motor, that's a good white noise.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I tried to don't care, still no man card today. Sorry, Tara. I gotta have some kind of noise, some white noise in the background, man. Now, here's a funny joke about this. I did set up one time. I wanted to hear rainforest. I'm like, oh, let me hear like rainforest sounds, right? Dude, this is I'm gonna wait till you're done drinking because I don't want you spitting it out.
Explosion.
So normally when you hear white sounds, like you get the crickets, you get the bugs, whatever. You get what's the other one? Waterfall or ocean.
Don't tell me it played the crowd from Starbucks.
No. Better. This is what happened. 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning. Caw-caw! Caw-caw!
Was it playing rainforest music?
It was playing the freaking jungle music. Like monkeys, freaking parrots, macaws. Like, dude, it was like Brazilian jungle, like animals. Dude, I woke up like, shut up. Like, what the hell just happened here? That's literally, you made my dog flip out just now. Sorry, Buzz. Dog's like, yeah, no, it was crazy. So, yeah, when it comes to these automations with your cubes or your whatever it is, I use it, and I know a lot of people actually that have it use it. They have a lot of that stuff. You're in the jungle, yeah, for real. So yeah, it was crazy. Now, the last thing I do want to talk about though, before we veer off too much, is do you have anything about specs? We need something about specs. It would be nice to actually compare the specs on all of them. Tara says, just bust a nut manually if required. Puts me right to sleep every time. Oh, shit. And Roland says, out here in the country, we have roosters to wake us. He says, cock-a-doodle-doo. Then he says, any cock will do. Awesome.
Device though. Which ones do you want?
The new ones, the second gen cube, the 4K. If you could pull some of the old ones, that would be nice. But at least the new ones, just to compare, like what's out currently. We have a rooster right down, like 3 or 4 houses down. Somebody actually has a rooster.
I'll grab some. I was also going to address comment in the chat.
And we got 40 some people watching. Everybody hit the thumbs up, guys. We really do appreciate you guys coming. We got up early. Well, for me, it was early to jump on here. Can't believe he just read that. He should have really screamed my comments. Sorry, Tara.
Is this
it? Yeah, next time I'll screen your comment, Tara. Now everybody knows your business. Don't worry, we're not putting on the podcast. Hey, Flick Chick, how are you doing? You just missed the craziness. So talking with these new Amazon devices while Next Level's putting up this stuff, the value of these brand new ones are insane. $30 for the light. It goes what? 30, 40, 50. $30 for the light, $40 for the 3rd gen, and then $50 for the 4K. That value is just it's just super nice. Go ahead.
Oh, which one do you want me to start with?
Let's look at the 4K, like something that we've had before in the past already.
See how I was saying it before? They call it the 1st gen 4K too.
Whatever.
Okay, so let's get down here. See, they're using a MediaTek processor.
You know what you should do? Here, let's do this. Open up all the different tabs and have every single one of them already loaded up with that screen on that.
Yes, sir.
That'll be easier to do this. Mike Ellis says 5:45 p.m. here, wide awake. Just saying.
Hold on a second. I think it was Mike's comment that I was going to address too. Yeah, he says, yeah, and I'm going to take my streaming device into my bed with me and turn off the lights. I didn't read that fully, but I guess I get where you're going to. But like Rohas says, he has a night command where he can tell it and it'll do everything from where it's at. So you don't need to take it into the different rooms. You can set up a skill where it'll do everything for you.
Yeah. Mibson, good morning. She's alive. Cross, is the OS version important? It is. When we talk about operating systems, when it comes to like the 4K Fire Stick is running Android 7, and then now we got Android 9 on the light. We were constantly saying the only difference really has to do with cell phones and securities and stuff like that. But once we're looking at this a little bit further, it's going to be either compatible or not compatible with certain codecs that are going to be available for the different operating systems. So one of the things that we talked about was they updated GPUs, CPUs, like a lot of stuff within the new Fire Stick Lite and the 3rd gen Fire Stick. And when you look at the 1st gen Next Level 4K Fire Stick, then it's 1.5 gigs versus 1 gig and 1 gig of RAM. Android 9 though is on the brand new ones, and it slightly outperforms the 4K Fire Stick. So we believe, because it is running the new Android 9 and it will allow the new codecs and all that stuff, then it will give it just that slight edge, the smoother interface. It'll have a couple extra stuff. It's nothing major like, whoa, look at the difference between the 4K Fire Stick and all that stuff. So if you missed that earlier, Cross, you're gonna have to rewatch it from the beginning. But we did show the benchmarks, how they were. It was just
about 6%
different. Yeah, it was a very small difference.
Now, would you notice 6%? Probably not, but it's still 6%.
But that also brings up the question. What you said is, if we put Android 9 on that 4K Fire Stick, do they get a 6% increase also, or is it going to be much significant since we do got that extra 0.5 gig?
Right.
Plus, it's not capped with the 4K. It's not capped with just 1080. You get extra codecs. So very curious to see what they would do once they have everything up and running, you know? Okay, so this is the 4K. So what do we got?
So it's Fire OS 7. This is also running Android 7.1, which is Nougat.
OS 6. Fire OS 6.
Sorry, I got mixed up with these two. Yeah, you got it. So keep an eye on this, the MediaTek 8695. Okay, quad core 1.7 gigahertz, running at 32-bit, 1.5 gigs of DDR4 RAM, up to 4K at 60 frames per second. And then I'm not going to go through all this. All you really need to know is it has Dolby Atmos and it has the HDRs, all the HDRs. There's your codec
and Dolby Vision. Dolby Vision.
Yeah. Right there, Dolby Vision.
Okay, let's go to the next one. You're going too far.
So this is the FireTVSticks 2nd gen. Right?
Okay.
So this is running Android 5.1 with Fire OS 5.
This is the old one. The one that we just upgraded from, guys. The old one.
It's an older MediaTek. Quad core running at 1.3 gigahertz. 1 gig of RAM. It doesn't say, but this is DDR3. And everything else you guys, like, you can read through all those specs if you need to.
It doesn't, does it have the Dolby, got the Dolby Digital Plus. So it's not, I don't see Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos.
No, you won't get that.
That's because it didn't exist back then with those devices.
You won't get that stuff.
Proceed.
Now, next one, I only put the Lite here because essentially the Lite and the 3rd gen, same thing. You're going to get the same shit unless you're talking about that Dolby Vision. One's pass through, one's not, right? Yep. So as you scroll down, as I said, there you go. You're running your Android 9 and there's your Fire OS 7. And like I said, keep in mind of the processor, 8695, same processor from the 4K Fire Stick. Running at the same speed, quad core 1.7 gigahertz, 32-bit. 1 gig of DDR4 RAM versus the 1.5 in the 4K Fire Stick. And this is where you're getting the HDMI audio pass-through, Dolby Digital, all that kind of stuff.
Cool. So it's pass-through.
Opus.
Yeah. What's next?
There's nothing next. I mean, do you want the cube now?
Sure. Let's look at the cube real quick.
Oh yeah.
And I did see your question. I'm going to answer it in a second as soon as we look at the cube.
So this was the generation 1, which was an utter failure. It was a complete failure. And let's look at why it was a failure. They put an S905Z chip in this when they should have gone with, you know, at that time, even a 912 would have been better than that. It was running at 1.5 gigahertz and everybody knew it out of the box. The 4K Fire Stick was faster. It was snappier. Even clock speeds, it was clocked in at 1.7 gigahertz. So RAM, I would probably almost bet that this was running 2 gigs of DDR3 RAM because of how slow that cube actually ran. You know what I mean? But it did come with all your, you know, your Atmos, your Dolby, your HDRs, all that kind of stuff. It gave you all that stuff, but it underperformed when it came to performance. It was just so laggy and slow. This one, now just to keep in mind, I guess they realized that they failed so hard and then they released the new one a year later. It's very rare where Amazon will release a new product every year. They typically tend to trend every 2 to 3 years when they release products. That's about right, Rohas?
Yeah, that first gen though was just garbage, man.
So they had to know they failed. Okay, Android 9, Fire OS 7. Now keep in mind, I've talked about this in my videos. Now that Android 9 and that Fire OS 7 is different from the 4K Fire Stick. The new sticks are running the same operating system as the Cube. So there is some instances where the icons are broken on certain applications, which will be across the board on all of their Fire OS 7 devices. So all of the sticks, the new sticks, and the cubes. They upped the processor to an S922X, which is a hexacore versus quad core. And it goes up to 2.2 gigahertz, which is fantastic. Great speeds. And that's where we were seeing it performing very similar to the NVIDIA Shield. Very, very similar in regards to performance. Not GPU, but in CPU performance and actual navigation of the device. This is something that I wished a lot more devices would list, but it's got 2 gigs of DDR4 RAM. I wish a lot more devices would list the specifics of the RAM, because I know when we talk about computers, we talk about, you know, your speed of your RAM. I mean, there's a big difference if you get DDR4 2400 megahertz or 2333 versus 3600. You're going to notice a big difference. So not all DDR4 RAM is the same. I just wish more companies would tell us what speed they were running at. It would help me make a bigger decision on, or a better decision on what devices I'm buying, or understand why my device is running the way it is. Yeah.
Are we good on this?
I think so.
Okay. So let's come here. So, okay. Mibzen asked a really good question. She said, "What the hell is Dolby Vision? Do you see sound?" It's called Vision.
Oh.
It's called Vision.
There was actually a really good video that I watched recently, and I hate to say it because it was an Apple product, but Lou Later was reviewing the new AirPods, and they had Dolby Vision, and his reaction to it was actually pretty cool. I'll send you the link later, but Dolby Vision is something that's really interesting. It's like the next wave of virtual surround sound.
Yeah. So, okay, this is what Dolby Vision is. So Dolby Vision is a way to get HDR. It's you know what? I'm gonna pull out the definition. Hopefully, this will give you. It's supposed to pretty much give you that really nice home theater or movie theater experience where it just looks insane. Like, so you'll get like that 4K quality and stuff. Here it is. So Dolby Vision is a way of mastering and delivering HDR to your home. In post production, this involves color grading on a Dolby Vision HDR monitor called Pulsar, which has a brightness of 4,000 units. So I don't want to go too detailed on that, but what it is, it gives it to you in a very, very, very nice quality. So don't confuse Dolby Vision with 4K video formats. They're different. What it does, it enhances your 4K experience. And even if you're not using 4K, if you're at 1080, it will enhance your 1080. It enhances the picture quality when it comes to Dolby Vision. Now, with sound, there's this thing called Dolby Atmos. Dolby Atmos is a 3D sound. So the 3D sound, the way Dolby Atmos works is that audio, it gives you a height dimension of sound. So when you're listening, and it's crazy the way they do this, it's just nuts. So when you're listening to the sound, a lot of it is just flat. You just listen to flat sound. What that means is when you're listening to your levels, like here's an example. If you're listening to us on your phone, let's say, if you're like listening to us on your phone and you got two different speakers, one on the top, one on the bottom, that's surround sound, because you're getting sound from two different spots. So it'll be considered as surround sound. Now, when you're listening to that, well, drop my phone. When you're listening to that surround, a flat audio rate is when it's literally just coming in one state, and you're listening to it with all the levels being flat. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're listening to, let's just say, a rock song, and you hear a drummer in the back with the drum set, that drum set is not going to be louder than the audio coming through, because they will tone it down. Now, when they tone it down, they have that even level of sound coming in. When I'm talking about height, when they start adding height, have you ever watched a movie where it starts to rain? You're probably going to be at the movie theater, unless you have like a killer surround sound at your house? If you do, you might know what I'm talking about. If you don't, when you go to the movie theater and it starts to rain, you start looking around like it sounds like it's raining in here, or it sounds like it's raining outside. That's what Atmos does. It puts you in that scenario, like in real life scenario. Another really good one is, man, I love watching this on my TV. If it has anything to do with race cars, like NASCAR, the Grand Prix, yeah, like it just the way it moves, you're just like, holy, like, dude. So I got speakers all around, so that thing sounds like it's going like this, like, I'm like, it's awesome. But I've also experienced the same thing, like with nature, where it sounds like it's raining. It sounds like you feel the dimensions. You feel the dimensions of something being closer or further or higher or lower, above you, behind you. Like you feel it like in different parts of your room. That's what Dolby Atmos does. Um, and they are, oh man, I don't know. With if you have those codecs inside of your device, like the light doesn't have it, it's a pass through. Pass through means whatever comes out from the video, then you're gonna get what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? A lot of it, even though the video might be a Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, Dolby whatever, a lot of it is still flat. You're gonna hear it like, ooh, this is cool surround sound, but it's not. It's like saying like, "Hey, I got a 4K TV," but it's not a 4K TV. It just looks really, really good. Like this damn thing. I bought a 4K TV, and when we plugged in the Fire Stick, it said it was a 1080. I'm like, "You're kidding me, right?" So sorry, I was long winded on that one, but yeah, it's Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision. If the codecs are in there, and I know the Shield has it, um, the Fire Stick has it, the new ones. Well, the 4K has it, the second gen has it. It makes a world of a difference when it comes to your home theater experience. Sorry, I was long winded on that one. What are you thinking about?
Third gen, not second gen. Um, Buzz says when he watches movies, he hates when the voice is super quiet and then boom, explosions. So certain devices will have voice enhancers. I know if you go into your Fire TV settings, you can actually go to sound and audio and then go to advanced sound and then turn on a voice enhancer, and that might help your issue, as well as whatever you're using generally has an equalizer of some sort, or profiles where you can switch between to kind of level that off for you and fine tune it a bit. So depends on your setup, depends on what you're using, but you should be able to find something that gets close to what you like.
Yeah, I do. With me, with my setup, the way I have my speakers and everything, every now and then I do get something like it's like creeping, and then boom, explosion. All of a sudden, it's like super loud. Or sometimes the audio, the voice sounds really, really good, and then when the music starts, it's like whoa, like that's way too loud. What that is, it's even though you might have Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, especially with some of these games and third party stuff, when it renders and it gets pushed out, that's that flat line that I'm saying. They have it controlled to say this is where we want all the volume to be at, and you'll get those spikes of something. I hate it. When it's native and true Atmos and Vision, oh my gosh. It just imagine being in, I don't know, a very popular city where you call it whatever, New York, LA, Toronto, whatever you want to call it. And if you're in the busy streets and you're sitting right there in the corner of some street and you hear all the cars zipping through, people walking by, that's a real life environment. That's how you want your setup to be. You want your setup to be exactly like that. And there's speakers out there that could do that very good. Sonos, for me, I swear by them. Sonos is the best set of speakers that you can get. It's great. You don't have to run wires all over the house. Bose, you do have to do that. Bose is known to have really good stuff, but man, Sonos is very, very nice. You should definitely check them out. What do you got there?
Oh, nothing.
Oh.
Did you still want to do a giveaway?
Oh, you were doing your thing, right?
I was going to give away a month of all the bread. I mean, we can do it in the group or we can do it live. It's completely up to you.
We could do the live. Yeah, let's do the live. So hopefully, oh, real quick, did you ever pull up the specs?
Of what?
Oh no, we did talk about the specs. I'm sorry.
I was like, where were you for the last half an hour?
Yeah, no. I was just thinking about like, wait a minute, because typically what we'll do is we'll say 8 gigs, 8 gigs, 8 gigs, 16 gigs, a gig, a gig and a half, 2 gigs. But yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead. So I, just want to thank everybody for coming. I know that the channel's a hell of a lot smaller, so we were like averaging about 40 people on the show. So that's pretty cool on the smaller channel. So appreciate everybody coming out. I know it's early in the morning for some, and some people it's in the afternoon. So glad we could get a good mix of people in here. Yeah, you wanna go ahead and kick it off?
I'll pick the number. You do the range.
Cool.
What's the range? Oh, okay. Well, hello.
Okay, check this out, guys. Apologize for being chatty. No worries, man.
So this is for 1 free month of All Debrid. All Debrid is a Debrid service that you can pair in a lot of applications, everything from Cinema HD, BTV Nova, Film Plus, Special K, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, so Jason Booyah says, "Damn, missed the show. You could always rewatch it. You could always
I mean,
rewatch
this is you know what? I was just thinking about this. This is a good show that you could put on and kind of have playing in the background. This is actually a good podcast as well. So if you are, cooking dinner or feeding the children or whatever, you could put this on and listen to it in the background.
Yeah, put it on the TV. Just listen to it, watch it if you can. We talked about all the specs, the benchmarks, 3D tests, like everything when it comes to the sticks, and we even threw the Shield and compared it because since that's one of the most powerful devices out there. We want you always want to compare of what's the best out there and where does it stand up to it. So we're doing what is it? 30 days free all Debrid. Since this channel doesn't have any members, it's really hard to know who's a member. Now, I know off the top of my head some of you guys, but to be fair, everybody gets one number only. All right, everybody gets one number only. But it says I usually listen while I'm at work. There you go. Yeah. So if you want to re-listen to this one, that would be cool. If anybody is late, watch it later because there's just a lot of stuff here. Okay, this is what we're doing. One number only. All Debrid. 30 days. Oops, here we go. One number only. The range is 1 through 15. All right. 1 through 15. Don't start yet. 1 through 15. On your mark, get set, and go. All right. I know I'm trying to match up with the audio here. Oh, duplicate numbers. Look at all the duplicate.
I know, there's so many.
Hey, Jose Rodriguez is here.
The real Jose? The real Jose is here. I don't even think he knows.
I don't think he knows. All right, we got a winner.
We got a winner.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Lone Wolf, you got the number. Number Juan. The number was Juan. Number was 1. Mibson. Hold on, Mibson.
What happened?
That just happened. Mibson's a moderator now. Get to work, Mibson. All right, Lone Wolf. I think you're in our telegrams, right? Mibson's like, am I in trouble? No, you got the wrench. I did not want to win again.
Bro!
One is the loneliest number.
Yeah, Lone Wolf, just hit me up on Telegram and I'll give you a voucher code for a free month of Aldebrid.
Nice. That is awesome. Hey, Jose Rodriguez, I still feel bad about you from yesterday. Jose Rodriguez, are you still here? You were on the show yesterday and then you disappeared. What happened? And you know what's interesting? When I put Jose Rodriguez, even though we had the fake Jose Rodriguez come earlier, all of a sudden the picture's the same.
Watch, he's probably gone now again.
I don't know.
He only appears at the beginning of a giveaway, never at the end.
Yeah, the real Jose Rodriguez is usually here all the time. But I wonder what happened to him yesterday, though, for real.
But he's here. Oh, hello.
Well, remember how we had the fake Jose Rodriguez earlier?
Yeah.
If you type it in Jose Rodriguez, do you see two images or do you see one?
I only see the one.
Yeah.
But I think that only works. You can only tag people that are currently watching. So maybe the fake one's gone and the real one's here.
No. Because we were able to tag both of them yesterday and we didn't see the other one.
I don't know.
Weird. Well, Jose Rodriguez, there you had a fake person yesterday, Kings. But so I don't know what happened to you yesterday. We were looking for you though. His pick looked like Juan Valdez. It did. It did. So, okay, cool. We're gonna wrap up the show and want to thank you guys all for coming to Streaming Box Now. We typically don't do live shows on here. We try to do one once a month where we actually compare devices. Mike Ellis, I'm not giving my prize back. No, you don't have to give your prize back. You won it fair and square. So just want to say thank you for everybody for coming. Make sure you guys do subscribe. Make sure you guys do hit that thumbs up. We appreciate every single one of you guys. Yeah, and stay tuned next month. I don't know what device we're going to compare, but we like to talk about it in the background and see what we got, and then we'll we'll figure something out.
I'm pretty sure I know what devices we're going to talk about next month, but I'm not going to say anything. I'll tell you on the side chat.
I think I already know.
Okay, cool. I'm pretty sure we're thinking the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, hold on. Put it on the side chat. Don't hit enter yet. We're gonna do.
Damn it! I already hit enter.
Oh, okay, I was. Yeah, that's what I was put.
Yeah, you were putting the same thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Same thing. All right. Next, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Well, it was actually it was a really good live stream. It didn't go how I thought it was going to go. I thought it had a good flow to it. I was, I really enjoyed doing this live stream today. So thanks for inviting me on another one of your channels and giving me an opportunity to ramble on for an hour and a half. Just thanks everyone for coming out and supporting another thing that Rohas and I are doing together. You guys are awesome. There's a lot of people that are in the chat that follow us all over the place, that are big supporters, that help out in the community, in the chat, in the Telegram groups, whatever groups you're in with us. There's a lot of you guys that are really passionate about helping the community. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to you guys and say that it's appreciated. Rohas and I are only, we're only one person. There's only so much that we can do. And without you guys, we probably couldn't do what we do, right? You guys help us answer questions. You guys help us troubleshoot. You guys even help us create content by asking us questions. So thank you guys. Look out for the podcast. There's a video coming out tonight on Beyond the Streams, as well as there's a really, really good podcast, an audio podcast that's dropping on Monday. You guys are going to want to listen to that podcast. It's going to be dropping around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you listen to that one because that's going to be a very special one. Monday is the 12th, and the 13th and 14th is when Prime Day starts. So we're gearing up for a big week. Make sure you stay close to the community, find out what all those good deals are, and we're going to have an awesome Prime Day event, an awesome week. You guys enjoy the weekend and stay safe.
Cool. And with that being said, too, we have a premiere today. And I just scheduled it right now. I always try to wait until normally I would do it like the day before, 24 hours before, so people can start gearing up for it. And sometimes I'll do it on the same day. So if you guys don't know, we are interviewing Lee from Supreme Builds. So that's going to be today's premiere. I just marked it premiere. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to post it on the chat here. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, it starts in 7 hours. Here's the channel. Interview with Lee from Supreme Builds. Let me grab it. Make sure you guys make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Mike says, "Oh, come on. Why? You don't want us to leave? Or what happened?" But there is the channel right there. Go subscribe to the channel. Click on the video. Set your reminder so that way you guys don't miss this interview with Lee from Supreme Builds. He's done the titanium build. It's going to be really, really good. Grab the video, share it around. It starts in a couple hours from now. And we will be there tonight wondering what the hell Lee has to say. I was wondering which product you would do in the next stream. Oh, well, so here's the thing. We are not allowed to say just yet.
Because it's not out yet.
It's not out yet. But we get a lot of these products early. We have a lot of people that we talk to, a lot of stuff that we get ahead of time. And yeah, until we are allowed to and we have everything, then yeah, so we can't spill the beans, but it's going to be a really, really good one. People have been comparing it. What's the difference between this and this and now that? Well, now it's going to be, yeah, well, this, that, and
that. Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. But we will talk about it on our main channels as soon as we're allowed to. But like we're saying, we're going to do a full comparison after the fact on this channel.
Yeah, for sure. So make sure you guys do check out the interview with Lee from Supreme. And yeah, with all that being said, thank you for coming. Drama, dun dun dun. Yeah, the suspense is killing us. Trust me, it's killing me too. All right, guys. You guys take care of each other. See you guys soon.